Hey internet friends, today we're talking about JD Vance, author, politician, venture capitalist, millennial, and President Trump's pick for vice president in the 2024 race. We deserve the real facts, the information the mainstream media won't relay. So who is JD Vance? And why did Trump pick him as his running mate? And most importantly, will Vance be as much of a weasel as Mike Pence was? Here's what the media won't tell you about JD Vance. Just to let y'all know my bias right out of the gate, because everyone has a bias, I think, even though the whole shooter narrative they've given us is unbelievable at best. You gotta give it to him. Trump looked pretty cool pumping his fist after his assassination attempt. And it stirred feelings of red, white, and blue, Andrew Jackson dueling absolutely anybody who looked at him the wrong way, eating a public sub right on the beach. The sound of eagle cries, you get it. But on the other hand, I despise Operation Warp Speed, and my memory isn't that short. And I also despise the people who Trump has chosen to surround himself with in the past. And I know the bottom line, which is that American politics are controlled by anti-American interests, corporations, secret societies, and... But I believe in the country America used to be. The country it could become if American interests were put first. If we took back our monetary system from the Federal Reserve, if our troops were brought back from the forever wars to secure our border. And I'm paying attention because I'm interested in Trump's last president trajectory as detailed over 100 years ago by Ingersoll Lockwood. And I'm curious if there will even be an election at all. So 39-year-old JD Vance. Unlike most politicians, Vance wasn't born into wealth and fortune, but into a working-class Irish-Scottish family. His childhood was marked by his mother's struggles with addiction and a revolving door of father figures. Luckily, he had his grandparents who played a key role in his upbringing. After high school, he enlisted in the U.S. Marine Corps and served in Iraq. After 4 years of service to his country, he graduated from Ohio State University, after which he attended Yale Law School. And it wouldn't be a video of mine if I didn't dunk on every politician who attended Yale because of their Bonesman Secret Society association and the sexual blackmail associated with it. It's a presidential machine, but as far as I can tell, Vance never did the skull and bones thing while at Yale. Yale, like Harvard and other Ivy Leagues, serves as a government recruitment center for alphabet agencies and networking opportunities with the upper echelon. Vance actually met his wife, Usha, daughter of Indian immigrants, while they were both students at Yale Law. Usha clerked for Judge Brett Kavanaugh on the D.C. Circuit, and also Chief Justice John Roberts on the Supreme Court after graduating from Yale Law School. So she seems pretty well connected for being a first-generation American. The California legal firm Munger, Tolles & Olson, which calls its culture radically progressive, employed Usha from 2015 to 2017, and the New York Times said that she was a registered Democrat until 2014. According to reports, JD and Usha had a mixed-faith marriage ceremony, as he's Christian and she's Hindu, and JD and Usha have 3 children together. After graduating from law school in 2013, Vance worked briefly as a law clerk for like 1 second before becoming a principal at Peter Thiel's venture capital firm, Mithril Capital Management. Mithril Capital is not directly affiliated with the CIA, but its co-founder, Peter Thiel, has connections to Palantir Technologies, which received investment from In-Q-Tel, the CIA's venture capital arm. Government institutions use Palantir Technologies as data analysis tools, like artificial intelligence, spying, data collection. Palantir is still listed as a Mithril company on their website. I'll link my video on In-Q-Tel below if you're interested. It all boils down to this. Vance worked for a CIA contractor at a CIA contractor company before getting into politics. I also just want to note that Peter Thiel is closely linked to Elon Musk from his time at PayPal, and Thiel is constantly in the whole Joe Rogan sphere of influence. Thiel is not my favorite guy. He's like this gay, conservative, Silicon Valley guy getting blood infusions from teenagers for the purposes of life extension. And hey, your business partner, your boss isn't your personality, okay? I get that. It wouldn't matter if that's all he was to JD Vance, but instead JD Vance received considerable funding from Peter Thiel. He donated $15 million to Vance's 2022 Senate race, Super PAC. But we're getting ahead of ourselves, okay, because you know I like to stick to the timeline, and we gotta talk about Vance during Trump's first presidency.
I'm a never Trump guy. I never liked him. As somebody who doesn't like Trump, I might have to hold my nose and vote for Hillary Clinton. I didn't vote for Trump.
Hillbilly Elegy was JD Vance's first memoir that came out in 2016. Many people loved the book because they felt like it told the truth about Vance's difficult childhood in a poor white working-class family in the Rust Belt, while other folks hated his memoir because of the insulting stereotypes. The main point of the book was to show how bad things are for the white working class in America and how people need to take responsibility to get help from their communities and change the system as a whole to fix these problems so they can ultimately achieve the American dream through hard work. There was a whole Netflix adaptation of the book, so we should have known Vance was going to come center stage sooner or later. The whole publication of this memoir really bolstered his career and gave him a voice in the political sphere. During the 2016 presidential race, JD Vance was openly critical of Donald Trump. Vance was a never-Trumper with Orange Man derangement syndrome and came off as pro-Hillary. However, over time, apparently Vance changed his mind, which I just want to say immediately struck me as unbelievable. But then again, I do know people in real life who were like this. Never Trumpers or liberals who changed teams at some point. It can happen. Apparently, Vance had gotten Trump's support before he ran for Senate in 2021. And of course, Trump's endorsement gave his campaign a big boost and helped him win the race, which I told you he would not have won had it not been for Peter Thiel's donation. Now I want to get into the part about Vance that'll get memory hold and never reported by media because they were compliant with these issues the entire time, but it is of note, to me at least, and maybe to you, that Vance was pro-COVID vaccine but anti-mandates.
Like you've said publicly that you were vaccinated against COVID-19. Did you get boosted?
I've not. At the end of the day, we should not be requiring people to take the vaccine. I have advised people in my family to get vaccinated. I'm not against vaccination. I think that for a lot of people, it makes a lot of sense, but at the end of the day, that should be your choice.
He wrote some very sarcastic tweets about the vaccine mandates, which I think are being screenshotted and misconstrued. It appears Vance is very pro-Israel. He did the whole ritual that all of our politicians do by going to the Western Wall and wearing the small hat, and has publicly stated that Israel is one of the United States' most important allies. And y'all, I understand that the barrier for entry to American politics is pledging allegiance to Israel. I get it, but it's like these things never get discussed and get swept under the rug, like your children won't get drafted for the military and sent to their deaths over the constant war crimes in the Middle East. So it needs to be loud and proud and understood. You're either America first or you're Israel first. You can't serve two masters. It just don't work like that. On the issue of Ukraine, Vance has stated, quote, "I gotta be honest with you, I don't really care what happens to Ukraine one way or the other," end quote. I think the general sentiment, at least around here, is American politicians should care about America first and stop sending our tax dollars to foreign countries. Also of note, Vance believes abortion is a state issue and wants to ban gender-affirming care for minors, and he supports building a wall along the southern border. Mitt Romney was also quoted as, "I don't know that I can disrespect someone more than I do JD Vance." And this was over Vance flip-flopping on Trump. And you know by now that on this channel, we thoroughly disrespect Mitt Romney because he's a fake Mormon and Bain Company stooge who was BFFs with Netanyahu at Boston Consulting. I've done videos on him that I'll link below, so if Mitt Romney doesn't like Vance, maybe Vance is at least a decent person.
That's a very good. That's maybe the most important thing that he needs to do on when he's elected president. Look, we still don't know who planted the pipe bomb at the RNC. Do you remember that? That was headline news for all of about 4 hours, okay? A pipe bomb was planted. We have video of it, and the FBI is more concerned about a 7-year-old grandmother who was walking through the halls of the Capitol than a person who apparently tried to blow up the RNC.
Unlike Mike Pence, Vance raised money for people jailed on January 6th. He's also, according to reports, anti-seed oils and pro-nicotine. Vance disclosed owning nearly $200,000 of Bitcoin in 2022. So pro-cryptocurrency, and also reportedly owns Rumble stock. He's also self-admittedly plugged into a lot of weird right-wing subcultures, which just means he's online a lot. So to summarize, in the face of mass criticism about both candidates being up there in age, Trump picked a white guy in his 30s as a running mate to refresh his campaign. The optics on Vance are that he appears to be an American first good old boy from the Rust Belt. And while I'm not 100% sold on that pitch, I understand the posturing. Vance's age and inexperience in politics gives the Trump campaign their assassination insurance. And it also gives them a future for the MAGA party because they need someone to run in 2028. Will JD Vance be better than Mike Pence? You tell me, internet friends. Was I fair? Was I fair to this VP pick? I tried to be. Let me know your thoughts, internet friends. You know, I always look forward to your comments. Grab a copy of the Deep State Encyclopedia and make sure to subscribe so you can catch all my latest videos. Bye.